Happy Thursday evening. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Thursday evening, so let's begin. But first, we begin with a very happy birthday to Jimmy Carter, the oldest living former president in U.S. history. Turns 96 years old today. Happy birthday, Jimmy Carter. Now let's get to some COVID-19 updates for New Hampshire. 47 COVID-19 cases reported in residents, staff at Bedford Long-Term Care Facility. 2 more Granite Staters died from COVID-19, health officials say. A new COVID-19 outbreak in a Bedford long-term care facility involved 33 residents and 14 staff members, health officials said Thursday. Health Commissioner Lori Shepperton said the outbreak was detected in the Bedford Hills Center. A small outbreak involving 3 residents and 1 staff member was discovered at the Ward Health Center in Windham. Shepperton said it's concerning how quickly the outbreak grew at the Bedford Hills Center, going from 0 to 47 in a week to 10 days. That is a transmit to how quickly COVID-19 moves, she said. Serial testing will begin at 2 facilities, Shepperton said. The state has implemented a program of surveillance testing in the state's long-term care facilities in effect to detect cases before outbreaks develop. Shepperton said the Bedford Hills Center has been participating in the surveillance program and had tested its entire staff, with all tests coming back negative before the outbreak. What we have seen through this pandemic is that as community transmission increases, and community transmission has been increasing, that increased the risk for it going into nursing homes, she said. For the first time since mid-September, New Hampshire has recorded multiple deaths from COVID-19, health officials said. 2 more Granite Staters have died, and Beth Dale, chief of the Bureau of Infectious Disease Control, said 2 more were associated with long-term care facilities. There have now been 441 deaths due to COVID-19 in New Hampshire. Dale said there were 52 new cases of COVID-19 reported Thursday. Average daily case total in New Hampshire has risen over the past few weeks, but Daly said it appears that they have plastered at a higher level than before. There will be an unusual spike in cases Friday because of the way the state is calculating the number of positive cases. Previously, the state didn't include positive results from rapid antigen tests because those were considered presumed cases, not confirmed ones. As the state moves toward using those tests more often, the positive results will be considered confirmed cases. The change will add 126 cases from throughout the pandemic to the state's overall total. While cases have risen, hospitalizations have not. There were no new hospitalizations announced Thursday. Officials said 738 Granite Staters have been hospitalized over the course of the pandemic. Dale said the public health workers are continuing their contact tracing investigation after cases of COVID-19 are confirmed, but their jobs are getting more difficult. She said people have become weary of ongoing pandemic, but it's essential that Granite Staters return the calls of contact tracers and try to cooperate with their guidance. Daly said a robust contact tracing program can help keep schools and businesses open and let people get back to their normal lives as quickly as possible. New Hampshire COVID-19 pandemic information, graphs, case data. Let's take a look at that right now. And here is a look at that for all of you right now. There are 831 and 17 number of people in New Hampshire have tested positive for COVID-19. 7,263,417 number of people in the United States have tested positive. 441 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 738 number of people have been hospitalized with COVID-19 in New Hampshire, and 465 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. Let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where current cases of COVID-19 are. Manchester 54. Let's take a look at this map of New Hampshire where total cases of COVID-19 are. Manchester 2082. Now let's take a look at these three charts here. Let's start with the first chart here, new cases each day in New Hampshire. In the purple, daily new positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, new hospitalizations. In the red, deaths. Let's take a look at this chart here. Current cases. In the purple, total current COVID-19 cases. And in the orange, current hospitalizations. Let's take a look at this chart here, total cases. In the purple, total positive COVID-19 cases. In the orange, total hospitalizations. Red, death. And blue, recovered. And let's take a look at this chart here. Each group of cases, female and male of cases, and risk information. Let's take a look at this chart here. Infections, hospitalizations, and deaths. And let's take a look at this chart here. Deaths, percent of New Hampshire population, race/ethnicity of cases, and hospitalizations. And your common symptoms: fever, lack of smell, cough, difficult breathing, chills, nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea. How it spreads, and prevention tips. And be sure to stay with the Riley King Network for the latest of your COVID-19 information. Portsmouth Church notified of COVID violation aimed report of outbreak. Church notified sharing of single clip spoon is a violation of the coronavirus emergency order. A COVID-19 outbreak at a church in Portsmouth possibly came from the traditional practice of using shared items, according to a letter from the Assistant Attorney General's office obtained by News 9. In the letter to St. Nicholas Greek Orthodox Church and the Greek Orthodox Metropolitan of Boston, Associate Attorney General Anna Edwards said the church was first notified by Portsmouth health officials on July 25th that the Greek Orthodox practice of using a single shared item was in violation of the state's guidance for places of worship. The practice seems to have continued, however, according to the letter, and must be modified in order for the church to remain in compliance with the state's rules about the coronavirus precautions. It's not known how many people have tested positive COVID-19 in the church community. Additionally, the church was remained about rules and also cover limiting the capacity in the church building to 50% or less, and that all attendees not in the same household must be seated or positioned at least 6 feet from another group. Edwards also warned the church about not being in compliance with Executive Order 63, which requires that face coverings be worn at scheduled events with more than 100 people present. This order covers faith-based events, Edwards said. These previous have been instituted so New Hampshire businesses and organizations can operate as safely as possible during COVID-19 pandemic, Edwards said. No punishment was issued, but Edwards wrote that further legal enforcement actions would be taken if necessary. Area in extreme drought expands to about 10% of New Hampshire. Wednesday's rainfall won't factor into the report until next week. Drought conditions worsened slightly in an updated post Thursday as more than 10% of New Hampshire is now in those of extreme drought. According to the U.S. Drought Monitor's report released Thursday morning, 10.59% of the state is in extreme drought. The area includes most of Stratford County and parts of Belknap, Carroll, and Rockingham counties in the southeastern pockets of the state. Nearly the entire rest of the state is in severe drought, including all of eastern, north, and central New Hampshire. Western portions of the Monadnock region are seeing a moderate drought. The report includes rainfall measured between last Tuesday and this past Tuesday, so all of the rainfall Wednesday will not be a factor into the report next week. Environmental officials said Wednesday rain was exactly the sort of storm New Hampshire needs. Soaking rain spread out over a period of time from the ongoing drought. We're 8 to 11 inches short in the total rainfall at this point, said Tom O'Donovan, Director of Water Division of Department of Environmental Services. The drought has been a huge impact on the state's topsoil and groundwater surfaces. This is the worst drought in New Hampshire since 2016, when several areas of the state experienced an extreme drought from August through December. New Hampshire wasn't out of the drought altogether until May 27th. New England is the only area east of Mississippi River that is seeing extreme drought conditions. There is some light rain in the forecast Friday and next Monday and Tuesday, which will help, but much more rain is needed. Mobile food pantry continues to serve communities in need. Trucks allow New Hampshire Food Bank to supply with food pantries. Let's take a listen to that video right now.
At the New Hampshire Food Bank, some of the 400 agencies that serve the food insecure in the state were loading up Thursday morning. The food bank says demand has increased more than 55% since the pandemic started. Now, additional help for those local agencies is on the way in the form of mobile food pantries.
So we're hoping to ease the burden off them a bit and bring more fresh food out to New Hampshire's food insecure during this pandemic.
This video shows a mobile food pantry from earlier in the year when the National Guard was assisting and they were being offered once a week. Now it is 3 times a week and dependent on volunteers who are sorely needed.
We follow the model that the National Guard set for us with a drive-through mobile food pantry, hands off, pop the trunk, but we still need bodies to put those boxes into the trunks.
One advantage of the mobile pantries is that it gives the food bank the opportunity to provide more perishable items like milk and fresh produce. Each week, a different section of the state is being targeted, and figuring out what is needed and how much is not an exact science.
We've got some history with demand throughout the state, and we also look at the number of food insecure, we look at the unemployment rates, and we do our best guesstimate.
With one goal in mind, trying to ensure that everyone in the state has something to eat.
We're working very hard to make sure that no one goes hungry.
The program is set to expire in 5 weeks, but the hope is that the USDA will come up with additional grants to allow it to continue. In Manchester, Ray Brewer, WMUR News Now.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for watching this evening edition. Have a great rest of your Thursday evening, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night and goodbye, everyone.